Welcome back. I'm Felix. I actually reacted to one of their other stories. It was about a woman obsessed with another man. That's why the title's up there. But this is another story from the same podcast. This one is about a guy who wants to be a passport bro. Back in the day, they didn't have a name for it. I think calling him passport bro is maybe about 3 years old or 4 years old, somewhere around there, 3 to 5 years old. This isn't new. A lot of people think this is a new phenomenon. Men going to other countries to meet women. This has been going on since men could travel. It's been going on since the boat was invented, that men go down to countries and find wives. So the fact that so many people think this is a new phenomenon is funny to me. It's hilarious. This is not a new phenomenon. This has been going on forever. It's just now they just have it a more better name, I guess you could say, for it. They call it passport bros. Well, what they leave out of that is that there are I guess you call it passport sisters. I don't know, passport women, because they do the same thing. And there's tons of women. If you ever watch those 90 Day Fiancé, they do it too. So, yeah, I think they should just call it passport people or something like that. But, yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of times you always hear the negatives of this passport stuff. And there have been a few positives, but it's more negative than positive. And it may really be more negative than positive, because you always hear the negatives. Where you ever hear you hear the negative more than you hear the positive. So I got a feeling this is going to be a more negative one. So, all right, let's get into this passport bro wannabe. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, it doesn't matter whether you find your wife or your husband. If you haven't changed your view on stuff, you're still going to be unhappy. It's usually you. I'm just going to go there. All right, let's get into this
story, and this one's cross-posted by outside lower score flamingo lower score 246. So,
hey,
yeah,
shut out.
Of course.
Josh, stepping on your toes here.
No.
Oh, no.
This one is from Am I the Devil?
That's
John,
okay.
we've made agreements to not do this.
But they didn't ask, am I the devil or am I the asshole, okay? So they didn't ask those questions.
Yeah, there are Am I the Devil stories that are from other subreddits, so it is okay.
Yes. I breached the contract.
That's okay.
The title for this story is Newly Divorced at 43, Please Help. Okay, so I'm going through an ugly divorce. My wife pulled something called the silver bullet, and they explained
it's a werewolf.
This is where they...
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Hello, where the hell have you been, Loca?
I knew you were going to quote that too.
This is where they secretly plan a divorce behind your back. The strategy of the silver bullet is they are building a case behind your back while you are completely oblivious to what they are doing. They do things like stage fights and record you when you fight back. They try to get you to hit them and other stuff like that too. The most important aspect of the silver bullet is they file an unwarranted restraining order to get you out of the house. This also gives them advantage in the custody and divorce proceedings. And they put, although I was able to file a dueling restraining order against her. And this is...
Now, just based on that is a real thing. I've never heard it called silver bullet, but that is a real thing where people will do it. And I've heard men do it against women as well. So I've heard it both sides where they start doing things to get you to react and only show your reaction and not their reaction. If you ever watch these like Karen videos, anymore, unfortunately, you're not seeing the full story. Like there was one where the woman was flipping out, and when we got the full story, it turns out the camera person started the whole mess and then started recording. And unfortunately, there's a lot of that where you think it used to be, the person recording, I would say you had a pretty good chance the person recording was in the right. And that's just like the dash cams. If you saw a dash cam, a lot of time you could consider that person was in the right. But now it's a 50-50 toss-up. And that's basically what it sounds like here. Because there was even a video of a woman hitting herself with a hammer to show how to set your man up to get arrested for abuse, and it's like, are you kidding me? And lucky enough, because of that recording, he didn't get charged, and it's like, he was so lucky, and unfortunately, that's a real thing, that people will do this stuff to try and set you up to hurt you, to get something over on you, and it's just sad. And unfortunately, in a lot of cases like this, the person doesn't fight back. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Fight back? It's like, you need to fight back with everything you got, because this is destroying everything around you. But it is. But I want to hear their view on this.
Me showing my ignorance. Is this the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing? Is that what's going on?
In a way, yeah, because Amber Heard will record Johnny after she did something, and that actually backfired on her, thankfully.
They both
Did
seem
not pay attention
terrible,
to any of that.
so I have
follow.
no idea.
I didn't follow
Okay,
that at
okay.
all.
Here's my thing. He says like they get you to want to hit them or whatever, but it's like you should almost never want to hit someone, like especially your
Yeah.
partner, no matter how bad the situation is. So
I hate that argument. To me, that's a naive argument. No matter how bad the situation, if they're coming at you and swinging on you, and yeah, he's been lucky in life, because there are men who have that same thought process and wind up in abusive relationships, and because they feel like, oh, I should never hit back. No, as much as some people will disagree with it, there is a time and place for violence, unfortunately. And if someone's hitting you, you need to fight, but you don't have to like knock them out, maybe shove them off of you and get the hell out of the situation. And as for trying to make you hit them, if they're hitting you, for a lot of people, the reaction is to swing back, to hit them back.
No, but I mean, you can imagine if they hit you and then they're like, oh, don't you want to hit me so bad? Things like that.
right, but
It's
I'm just saying I
definitely-
would still never hit someone. I would leave, and so the
For
silver
sure.
bullet would not
But
work.
the baiting is there still.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I don't know. I don't know where this is gonna go yet. So
Okay. I'm new to the Passport Boys movement.
This is it.
Please help me get integrated and
I want to stop something right here. Also, in this case, I don't think she's doing the silver bullet thing, unless she's crazy or something. But for some reason, I feel like she's not doing it, because unfortunately, a lot of these passport bros are a little out there. So part of me wonders, what was he really doing? Just the fact he wants to be a passport bro. I feel like he probably was threatening and swinging on her. I'm not saying all the passport bros are like this, but if you ever talk to someone, it's like, yeah, I see why your Western wife didn't want to put up with you. It's like, you're an abusive prick.
well versed in this movement. So I'm gonna give a little background. So Wikimaniacs, if you don't know what a passport bro is, it's essentially people that believe that Western women have been influenced by cultural and societal pressures
I was wrong.
to behave in a certain way. Therefore, relationships with foreign women seem more genuine, satisfying, and peaceful. So,
All right, I'll take
this
that.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that is true at all. Yeah, that's why I said I kind of wonder what he was really doing in the relationship.
Everything
picked
I
this-
previously said.
it's a win for me.
I picked this story because last week we talked about I have an ick about like people like
fetishize.
fetishizes like Asian women because they're more like more submissive and all that. So I was like, I might as well
Perceived to
continue
be.
off of this shit.
yeah,
Perceived to be more.
Yes.
As we could tell from Juliet, that stereotype is not true.
she'd beat your ass.
She'd fucking beat your ass, John.
Beat my ass. Hell yeah. And I take it too like a champ.
I think John has a weird fetish.
I do. I'd be liking that shit. Be like,
My
she's in
God.
Vegas right now. I miss her so bad. Here's where I need your help. Can you share some life hacks or ideas on where I can get a loyal, old-fashioned, non-westernized feminist wife? I haven't started dating yet, and maybe you could all give me some advice. I wouldn't mind finding some young,
Gross.
decent-looking foreign woman whom could have my children. I am financially stable, decent-looking guy. This is the kicker. I'm not really into Africans or Asians, but I'm open to anything. Please help, guys.
I mean, that's
Okay.
a large
All right,
portion
so,
of the population.
Based on the rest of this conversation, it sounds like you probably did yell at your wife a lot. You
what I'm
probably
saying.
did want to hit
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Or, hopefully not, but maybe you did actually hit her. Yeah, it just seems like blaming society for your problems with your wife seems like a cop-out. Yeah, everything about this just seems like, I don't know. It sounds like you were actually guilty of all these things and not really the silver bullet.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. As soon as it said passport bro, unfortunately, passport bros don't have the best reputation. Yeah, you can't be like, oh, she's doing the silver bullet, and then you go, I'm a passport bro. It's like, and then you give this reason as to why you're a passport bro. That's not a good enough reason to blame your wife for getting a restraining order against you and doing all this stuff. Yeah, I'm with them. You probably were doing that stuff, and that's why she started recording you. She probably asked you, hey, have you seen the keys? What the hell do you mean where the keys are? Yeah, that was part of your reaction. Is say, yeah, I'm going to go with you were doing stuff. Unfortunately, I believe you were doing stuff.
Because I'm sure the silver bullet accusation, I'm sure that happens. Like, that has to be a real thing. But
well,
I don't think...
to me,
Do you not-
yeah, I don't know. Well, like, I don't know. I think it would maybe be very, very rarely. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately, it's not that rare. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it's not as rare as you might think. Like I said, they make videos about it and stuff like that. And I'm not saying it happens so much that, you need to watch out for it, but there are cases where it does happen. I don't think it is as rare as he thinks. I think it happens more than he thinks, especially if there's children involved, where one of the parents will try to set the other parent up. It's sad, but it happens, and it's been happening for a long, long time, long before the internet. So, unfortunately, like I said, it does happen.
And if someone's building a case against you in secret, I think they probably have good reason to, you know what I mean? And so I would say it's probably, I don't know. It feels made up to me, like this scenario.
This specific one, yes.
No, but I mean, like,
I agree
think
with Sean. Like,
I think this scenario happens more often than not.
All right. I mean, I'm taking a shot in the dark because and no pun intended, but because
Jesus, you can't stop about the shots.
because I just heard about this thing, but it seems to me like it's like a made up thing from incels, but that could just because I've only heard it in the scenario.
I can see why you would think that. It's definitely something incels would make up, but unfortunately it does happen. It's sad it happens, but it's not just women that do it. Men do it too, like I said. I was going to say something else and I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, unfortunately, both sides will go to extremes to set the other partner up to try to win. I mean, look at divorce cases. It happens a lot in divorce cases where both sides will accuse the other side of doing stuff. Oh, that's what I was going to say. He was talking about building cases secretly. The truth is, that's the best way to build any case, whether it's a spouse or the cops or anybody. You don't want to let the other person know you're building the case. You never let the other person know you're building the case, because then the case could fall apart because they're now going to cover their tracks and remove all the evidence that you're using against them. So technically, all cases are built in secret because you don't want them to know you're building the case. Because, like I said, if they know, they're going to do everything in their power to cover their tracks. So in that aspect, of course you're going to build a case in secret. To me, it's like to me anyways. But but I can definitely see why he would think it was an incel invention. The naming of it was probably by the incels, but the overall action is not uncommon. So it happens a lot, unfortunately, especially if there's a divorce involved. One or both parties are trying to build a case against the other why they should get the kids or why they should get the money or why they should get spousal support. So, yeah, it happens a lot, unfortunately, especially if it's a bitter divorce.
Oh, I've never heard the term silver bullet before, but the situation of having somebody record things and like do it, like plan a divorce is not unheard of to me.
Right, but I'm saying that
unfortunately.
person might have an actual case where they're actually like, this person actually does stuff to me. I'm recording this.
You avoid trouble.
And so I think
for
that's
sure.
way more common than them trying to fake something.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
But I'm just saying the scenario where the faking happens exists.
Well, sure.
There are nefarious people out there, men,
Sure.
women, or
Yeah,
anyone
yeah,
else
yeah.
alike. So it could happen.
I won't say it never happens. I'm just saying I think it's way less likely that it's for no
by
reason.
the way this story ended is definitely, probably skews in the way of the incels.
Yes.
But
yeah.
I would, not from personal experience, but from like a friend of a friend of a friend, who also had found out what was happening and recorded his own evidence of his partner trying to set things up.
Oh, wild.
It
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's the only reason I know is because a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. Yeah. I heard the stories and, heard about his evidence as well. Crazy.
That's wild.
Okay.
Wild.
All right.
My favorite comment from our subreddit from OK Midscore Avocado 464. They put W for the Asians and Africans. They don't lie his ass.
Yeah, exactly right.
which is true.
Sorry, Europe.
All the white girls went, what the fuck? We did this shit? Yeah.
Oh fuck. All right. Lastly, it's okay, Chloe.
Okay. That was too funny. Yeah, since in this scenario, I definitely believe he probably was doing stuff. That's why she was secretly recording recording him. But unfortunately, I can't think of his name. The white guy. What is his? I knew their names for a split second. Now I can't remember any of their names. But he's I feel like he's a little naive, and there's nothing wrong with that. He clearly lives a very good life, and doesn't get to see any of the bad stuff. But I have seen, not firsthand, but I pretty much like the other guy who was talking about a friend of a friend of a friend, where that happens, where the other person's trying to set him up. And I've even heard women talk about setting up their men so they can get money in the divorce. So unfortunately, it does happen. And like I said, it happens a lot more than you think. And it's unfortunate it happens, but yeah, that happens a lot more than you think. Does it happen every day? Honestly, it might actually. Because like I said, especially in divorces, and divorces are high these years, the past couple of years, that people, in a divorce, you want to build a case against the other person. And in some cases, people make things up to make their side look better. But yeah, this guy, though, is definitely an incel. Probably a racist incel. And I guarantee you probably either did I'm going to hurt you or, threatening manner. I just feel like this guy was the definition of an incel. Just from the way he wrote this. But yeah. If you're going to be a passport bro, one, you're probably fetishizing the women you think you're going to meet. And the reality is that's not going to happen. If you have a thing for a certain type of race, that is fetishized. Well, is it really fetishizing? Because if you're black and only date black women, no one says anything about it. If you're Asian and only date Asian women, no one says anything about it. It's when you date someone outside your race, they say you're fetishizing. So that's a gray area in my opinion. But if you're dating them outside your race because of a stereotype, then yes, that's a fetish. you're fetishizing them. But if you're just dating them just because you just are more attracted to them, that's one thing. But if you're dating them because of a stereotype, then yeah. Because I've even heard stories where, like, white women only date black men because, for whatever reason, when they date a black guy, the relationship's better. So they've just gone towards that. And vice versa, where a black guy only dates white women because when he dates a white woman, the relationship seems better. And I think it also depends on where you live in the United States. In the United States, just as an example, in the United States, it depends on where you live. Like, I won't lie, a lot of the black women I was around were not black women I wanted to date. But then I moved away and I found black women I wanted to date. It was like, I can't explain it. It was like the black women I was around, I grew up around it, so they saw me a certain light. I think it was the problem. But then I moved elsewhere and I didn't change who I was. And those black women had no problem with me. So there's that. And also, I grew up around people who thought they were thugs, and it's like, yeah, you're not a thug. You're a wannabe thug, and if you really hung around those people, you'd be dead. But yeah. If you're having trouble with women, if you're having trouble in relationships where you feel you need to date someone from another country, it's you. I'm sorry, it's 100% you. But that aside, I'm looking at my double chin. Did I miss some hair right here when I shaved? Or did just a shadow from my double chin trying to form? It's like, anyways. Yeah, I mean, if you want to travel, go to other countries and meet people, that's one thing. But if you're doing it because you think Asian women are more docile, or these type of women are more docile, or these type of men are more exciting, you're going to be for a really disappointing trip. But anyways, don't forget to like, subscribe, and everyone take care. Later.